One frozen Wildwood feather may decide if handmade animation still deserves theaters. One Wildwood puppet can take weeks to earn a 2-second shot.
That sounds impossible until you remember that 2 seconds can hold dozens of poses, lights, eye shifts, cloth resets, and tiny mistakes nobody can smooth over on set. By the end, I'll freeze one teaser moment and show the clue that changes the handmade versus CGI argument. First, we have to catch LAIKA's fingerprints before they disappear at normal speed. Wildwood matters right now because the official teaser turned LAIKA's craft into a public argument again. The teaser has already pulled well over 1 million views, and the reaction split is predictable. Some people see magic, some see computer polish, and animation fans are pausing feathers like they are checking a watch movement. Your first reward is the 3-shot test. Look for uneven fabric, an eyeline that is almost perfect but not dead center, and gravity that feels slightly too heavy. CGI can imitate all three, but stop motion often leaves them where a studio would normally clean the image until it feels weightless. If you want weekly breakdowns where craft, marketing, and movie-going value collide, subscribe and hit the bell.
Missing the next one means entering the debate after everyone has already chosen a side. The uncomfortable part is this: your eye can betray you faster than the teaser can teach you. You know the trap. A teaser drops, you watch it once on your phone, and your brain instantly files every shot into 2 folders, real craft or shiny CGI. That snap judgment feels smart because trailers train us to hunt for clues fast. But with LAIKA, speed is the worst possible setting. Here is the shift: a 2-second shot is not one image. At film speed, it can be 48 tiny physical decisions, and if the puppet has feathers, cloth, hair, or a tilted head, those decisions multiply. The real problem is not that Wildwood refuses to show handmade work. The problem is that modern handmade work is so clean your eye punishes it for being excellent. So the first clue is this: stop looking for roughness everywhere. Look for controlled imperfection in one moving detail, especially when the rest of the shot looks polished. Next, the shot that seems least handmade may be the one you should trust most. Most people think handmade animation should always look bumpy, and that is exactly why they misread Wildwood. Old school wobble is not proof. Sometimes it is just low resources. LAIKA's flex is the opposite: make thousands of hand-touched pieces behave so precisely that viewers accuse the shot of being digital. Watch the most polished, floating, CG-looking moment in the teaser, then ask what would be hardest to fake physically: the creature, the camera move, or the way a small material catches light across frames. That is the flip. Stop motion today is not anti-computer. It is puppets, sets, replacement faces, rig removal, compositing, and brutal patience working together. So the myth is real means messy. The truth is real can look too perfect. Your reward: the most CG-looking shot may be the biggest handmade flex. But one physical clue still gives the set away. The physical truth is that Wildwood should not be judged by whether a shot looks impossible. It should be judged by whether the impossible has weight. In CGI, a leaf can drift forever because the computer does not care. In stop motion, every drift is a battle against gravity, wire, surface friction, and time. That is why tiny heavy moments matter: a cloak settling, an eyeline missing perfection by a hair, a feather not returning to the exact same silhouette. LAIKA's past films helped make replacement face animation and digital cleanup feel seamless, so Wildwood is arriving after audiences have been trained to mistrust polish. The clue sitting in plain sight is physical resistance. If a tiny object seems slightly stubborn, that is evidence. Hold that thought, because later I am going to freeze one puppet movement and count what had to change between frames. Once you see that count, the ticket price question gets much harder. Here is the strongest evidence, and it is not a studio claim. It is frame math. Take the tiny feather movement in the teaser, the kind most people ignore because the character is what your eye wants. Frame 1, the feather tip sits just above the painted body. Frame 2, it rises, but the base barely moves. Frame 3, the tip rotates, the shadow shifts, and the body still holds its pose. That means the animator is not just moving a whole puppet. They are controlling a chain of tiny relationships,
tip, base, shadow, eyeline, body balance, and camera continuity.
Here is the part most videos skip.
If the final shot is 2 seconds at 24 frames per second, you are looking at up to 48 opportunities to ruin continuity.
Not 48 clicks.
48 chances for dust, fabric, focus, gravity, or a finger-sized adjustment to betray the illusion.
That is why a feather can be more revealing than a face. If that just changed how you see the teaser, hit the like button right now.
It helps this reach people who care about how movies are made.
But the mechanism is even stranger than the math.
Here is how it actually works in plain English. Imagine trying to take a family photo, but every person in the photo can only move 1 millimeter after the camera clicks, and nobody is allowed to bump the table.
That is a stop-motion shot.
The animator plans the action like a musician reading a score.
Move the head a little. Change the eyes. Nudge the cloth. Settle the feather. Take 1 frame. Then do it again while remembering where every shadow was.
The computer can help remove a rig or blend a scene later, but it cannot rescue a performance that was never physically felt.
That is the mechanism. Handmade animation turns acting into a chain of irreversible choices.
The viewer feels life because a human shows exactly when to hesitate, overshoot, settle, and breathe. Now the Wildwood teaser becomes less like a normal ad and more like a watchmaker's bench. The clues are tiny, but the consequences are huge.
And this leads to the mistake that can make you undervalue the whole movie. The biggest mistake is judging Wildwood like a normal trailer. A normal trailer asks, does the story look fun? Fair question. But with LAIKA, there is a second price tag underneath. Do I want to pay to see a physical object perform in front of a camera?
If you skip that question, you compare Wildwood to the cleanest CGI movie on the same scoreboard, and Handmade loses before the race starts.
That is the costly mistake. You are not just buying plot. You are buying the risk that somebody spent days making a puppet glance feel alive for 2 seconds. Here is the cautionary example. If the teaser feels short, do not only ask what it withheld. Ask what it protected. A teaser can hold backstory because craft is the invitation.
Freeze this decision now. Judge the trailer as marketing, or judge the craft as part of the ticket price.
Next, I will give you the test. Here is the practical test you can use today before the comment fight eats you alive. Step 1. Rewatch the teaser at normal speed and choose one shot that feels weirdly smooth. Do not pick your favorite shot. Pick the suspicious one.
Step 2. Pause on the smallest moving material, not the biggest character. Fabric edge, feather tip, hair strand, cloak corner. Step 3. Look for one of the 3 fingerprints, uneven fabric, imperfect eyeline, or gravity that lands a little heavy.
Step 4. Ask the counterintuitive question, could this look fake because the handmade work is too precise? Step 5. Count relationships, not frames. Did the shadow, body, eyeline, and material all change together?
If yes, you are probably looking at labor, not just polish. That resolves the first promise. One Wildwood puppet can take weeks because a tiny movement is dozens of coordinated physical choices. The 5 clues are not rumors, they are repeatable viewing habits. But the final verdict still needs one frozen shot, and that is where the theater debate gets uncomfortable.
Freeze the shot now.
The verdict is not Handmade always wins.
The verdict is whether you can see human decisions inside the polish.
In this frame, the proof is the tiny mismatch. Material weight, eyeline, shadow, and pose are not random noise.
They are coordinated choices.
If that evidence makes the image feel more valuable to you, Handmade earns the theater. If it does not, CGI may already feel like enough.
That is a fair answer, but now it is an informed one. If the feather frame breakdown surprised you, hit the like button.
It genuinely helps this reach more people like you.
Comment with yes or no. If a stop-motion movie and a CGI movie tell an equally good story, does the Handmade one deserve your theater ticket more?
Subscribe for weekly trailer investigations where we turn hype into evidence before the internet decides for you.
Next up, Stewart fails to save the universe, and the teaser clue most people missed.